where do we begin with this? It's like it took us a half an hour almost, about a half hour to get set up today because
we had to relearn old technology.
Well,
kind of.
Yeah, to get not to spend a million years on this. The tools we were using to record our calls and stuff don't work on the new M1 Apple Silicon machines.
Valley chips.
And Phil, you just got the new Mac Mini that has this chip. And
thanks to Joe Biden.
That's right. Tax dollars at work supporting the podcast. And
thanks, Joe.
He's a guest next week.
Oh, good. He's going to try to get.
Surprise
he's going to make sure all of our listeners are vaccinated.
Kamala kind of wanted to too, but I had to draw the line somewhere.
Well, we can't have them both on the same episode.
Yeah, they don't get along well.
Oh, sure.
I'm just kidding. No, we had like, and I usually record on an older machine, so and then we're like, oh crap, none of this stuff works, and we had to figure this out again. So
re-download things. Fun
time, and yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes into the weeds. That's exactly what this podcast needs. Wrong! You're listening to episode 63 of Time to Lean, and here's a song with John and Phil, and no special guests, but you're special, you're our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Let our service be undressed.
Do you know where behind the scenes came from?
MGM. No, I don't know.
The expression.
I don't know.
It dates back before or at the dawn of movies, but it's not about movies, actually.
Okay.
I heard this on, oddly enough, a podcast.
I guess it was theater or something.
Classic. Yeah, it's a theatrical thing that apparently during, 100 plus years ago, there was this time when there were basically we would call pop-up brothels that went on, and they were in theaters, and the ladies that worked these things literally were behind the scenery in stage plays
while the play was going.
Well, I actually wasn't clear about that, but it could be that while the play was going on, some of the more well-to-do gentlemen would visit behind the scenes for
on intermission. Yeah.
And that apparently that's where that comes from, according to historical Hollywood podcast I listened
all right.
to. So
weird.
I was not aware of that. I mean, it's very obvious expression, but that's where that was coined, apparently.
Okay. I always like to learn about where phrases and words come from. That's fun.
That's right.
And everyone learned something today.
Damn it! You're gonna learn something on this one.
It's good. It's good to learn something. Yeah. Well, I suppose. I'll just say that summers we don't record quite as often during summer in general, but this.
Well, I've been recording every week. Where have you been?
Well, all right. Are you editing them by yourself and
putting
them out there? Putting them all out there and everything.
I don't know. For some reason, they just haven't shown up.
I just got done finally with this 11-week class that I took for work, and they're supposed to let you take as a supervisory development. Supervisory is a weird word to say, but after half a beverage. But it's
half a beverage
development class.
There's no time. Sorry, keep going.
And it was an 11-week course, and it was way more time consuming than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I'm glad I took it. I mean, I learned quite a bit, and it'll look good on something at work. But it just was really kicking my ass. So we have it. This is the first time we've recorded in quite a while. So.
Yeah, episode 63 is what this will be.
I guess so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm still working on 62, but we'll get that out pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah, that one's epic.
Scott T.
Scott had a lot to say. He really did.
Well, and he always has a lot of interesting things to talk about.
And our third Colorado guest.
Yeah. Isn't
right?
it? Wow.
Yeah.
We're branching
David
out.
is there too, I think.
Oh, well, for a second, I thought you were counting Chris E., but Christian E., but
Close.
he's in Wyoming still. Just right up there.
Right down the road.
Down there.
So, So speaking of the West, I finally finished the last movie in my Westerns project.
Oh, what one was that?
This one was True Grit, which was
the
the 1969
original
one.
Yeah.
With John Wayne and Glenn Campbell are the two guys.
Oh, Glenn Campbell played the drunk guy?
No,
I thought Dean Martin was in
he's
there.
really young then. No, Glenn Campbell is the kind of sidekick guy who's played by Josh Brolin, I think, in the remake.
I'm merging movies.
Yeah, no, John Wayne is the old guy, Rooster Cogburn, who's played by Jeff Bridges, of course, in the 2010 Coen
Why did I
Brothers
think Dean
version.
Martin?
No,
I think Dean Martin
that's
was
Rio
there.
Bravo.
Oh, okay.
They all kind of blur together. I get it.
They'll have some character in there that goes, I gotta go over there and go to that character.
No, unfortunately, what's his name?
Walter Brennan.
Walter Brennan. Yeah, we talked about him 50 times. I don't know why I forget.
That's how I remembered because
He's not in this one. I don't know. He might have been gone by then or something. That's pretty late.
Oh, yeah.
Or actually retired. It's hard to tell how old the guy was in some of these movies.
And it's hard to CGI him in. So back then,
it was difficult. Yeah, those vacuum tube run computers that took up whole rooms.
But it had more warmth. It had more warmth than the current CGI.
They do. Yeah, they had this nice.
The tube
pleasing
CGI was really nice.
Tube CGI.
Well, it was just called TGI, I think, but tube generated.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know, it was so much better.
Oh well.
But I was texting with Rob about this, who it kind of got me going to this, and then he hasn't had time to watch them, so ha on me. But I was texting him because I recognized 4 different people in this movie who appeared on the original series of Star Trek. Which, given the time period, is not shocking. But I was, I recognized one right in the credits, and then as we went along, it's like, wait, there's another one and another one who were none of the actual regular cast members, but like guest star people.
Oh, because I know at least Bones was in at least one Western, I think.
He did a bunch of Westerns, actually, but one of the ones I watched for, he is in one of the OK Corral movies, I think. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what he did as his main gig in those days, is play Western characters.
Yeah. And then he went to a space Western.
And then he did that, and that's what everybody knows now. But
yeah,
4 different people. It was really, really funny. I mean, unfortunately, Ted Cassidy did not show up in it.
Oh.
Who was in the last Western I talked about. So we didn't quite have the meeting of all the Star Trek weird character people.
Oh well.
But I was surprised how much I liked this movie. I was kind of thinking it would be, late John Wayne stuff is pretty tough sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the Green Berets, things like that. Even though George Takei is in that one, but it's really he was kind of old and bloated in a bad way.
Yeah.
In these ones, and I really thought he was good in this movie, because he wasn't afraid really to play a kind of run through the wash too many times character.
Sure.
He was obviously a drunkard and kind of rough around the edges and cranky, and he lives. The funny thing, and I don't remember exactly how much of this the Coen brothers use, because the movies are actually pretty similar in a lot of the plot. In fact, there's a lot of scenes I recognized, even though I haven't seen it since 2010 when it came out. But the character is pretty similar, and I don't think this happens in the remake, but Rooster Cogburn, played by John Wayne, he hangs out at this Chinese man's general store. I think it is. It's hard to tell. One scene he's got stuff on the wall, and other times he's like cutting up bacon or I don't know what he's doing. But
okay.
and they play cards most of the time too.
Oh, interesting.
And a cat. He's like, his name is like Colonel such and such. I should look that up someday. It's a funny. The name of the cat is.
The name is General Sterling Price.
Colonel Sanders.
John Smith or something like that.
Weird.
Yeah, it's just a strange little setup, but really he's quite good in it, and he has a lot of scenes with the young woman who plays the.
Wait, the cat has a lot of scenes. Is this behind the scenes? What's going on?
Well, you've seen the Coen Brothers version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they're also a young
was a while
lady
ago.
who's the one who's hiring those guys to avenge her father's death, and
Okay. Interesting premise.
yeah, it's an interesting twist on the revenge thing, where the person driving it is female for one thing.
Yeah.
That's in 1969 that was quite different.
Yeah.
But the scenes with John Wayne and Kim Darby is the actor's name who played the gal, and they're quite good. They kind of have scenes where they're just talking about stuff, and she's very, very tough and
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
smart and everything. It's a really great performance, and it's really good in the remake too. I don't take anything away from that, but it's a little, obviously the Coen Brothers one has more odd stuff in it.
Yeah.
And it's got some different stylistic things. And probably, I mean, Glenn Campbell is pretty good, but he kind of gets outshone
Shined? I don't know.
by the leads.
Actually, either is acceptable, evidently, outshined or outshone. I don't think you can say outshone.
Yeah.
It's pretty well done. There's some actually funny things in it. A very young Robert Duvall is one of the bad guys.
Oh, funny.
Another one that I kind of didn't notice at first was Dennis Hopper is in it.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
He has one scene where he, spoiler alert, but he gets awful things done to him.
Oh, nice.
Good old Dennis Hopper, but
Get the shit kicked out of him or something.
something like that. I think gets his hand cut off before he's shot or something like that.
Jeez.
And then they make him defeather a turkey or something.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's definitely has its oddity, and the dialogue in it is actually pretty clever and interesting, and I think the Coens borrowed a lot more from it than I originally thought.
Interesting.
So, it's
I wonder why they did that.
they must have liked it. I can see why it would appeal, but
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good. It has its downsides for sure. And as a John Wayne skeptic myself, I found myself pretty won over by it.
Well, you found the right role at the time.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, it's good. Even it definitely looks of its time, and it also has amazing photography. They shot it in Colorado, actually. Oh,
yeah.
Back to
We're
that.
going to have to mention Colorado every episode now.
Every episode, Colorado,
or someone from Colorado.
Even though I haven't been there in 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shot on location in a bunch of national park forest areas and stuff, and it looks beautiful. It's great scenery.
All right.
So there you go.
So 5 thumbs up. Well, and it's definitely what is that classification? The hired gun?
That's a professional plot one, or it's also a revenge category too.
Oh, both. It's a crossover.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid.
I haven't read the chapter on that one yet, but I'm guessing that's where it's going to fall.
Oh, okay. And that was what book again?
It's called Six Guns in Society.
Yeah, okay.
And this movie does have a lot of societal things to say in it that are kind of there in the background. So,
all right.
Like a lot of good westerns, that you can read them that way.
So.
Well, what are you drinking?
Oh well, I actually drank
What did you
Summit.
drink?
I had a Summit Extra Pale Ale. I had a few in the fridge. I bought some a while back when it started getting warm before it got cold again. And, it's nice to have a beer after doing yard work or something when it's hot. And something's happened with my sinuses or something. I don't know what it is, but I get a headache now when I with the hops. It's odd.
Just the hops specifically do that?
Yeah, it kind of gives me a sinus kind of headache.
How strange.
It closes up my nose a little bit. Maybe I have an allergy to hops. Now, I've tried other beers, and the Ambers were the kind of beers I like the best anyway, and I didn't have that problem there, so it's odd. I don't know. Fine.
How
but
strange.
then I switched to a Scotch and soda.
Old Reliable. Scotch.
I ran out of my Scotch by Scotch, though, that you got the other day, and I'm on...
It wasn't literally the other day. You didn't go through a 1.75 liter of Scotch in 2 days.
No.
Did you?
No. It was pretty... I went through it faster than I am proud. I'm not proud of that, but... Yeah, whatever.
Well,
what are you drinking?
So I have a Tattersall Old Fashioned from a bottle.
Ooh.
So it's a pre-made cocktail that you buy in a bottle.
Okay.
And
Is
I
it
don't
good?
normally get these things.
No, I don't either. I don't like them usually.
And I picked this up because we were traveling a week or two ago to visit family, and I just wanted something easy to take that I could pour on ice and
Yeah.
and I don't know, just like, hey, let's try it. And Tattersall is a local distillery cocktail room place here in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, so if anybody could do it, maybe they make good stuff.
They make very good quality spirits. I've had some of their other beverages before, and
Yeah.
they make several different ones. But this is an old fashioned made with rye, with their own rye whiskey and their own sour cherry liqueur.
Yeah.
Which,
Nice.
Is a pretty good combo in general.
Yeah.
It's out of the bottle. It comes out at 35%, so it's obviously a little watered down, but it's not so bad. Assuming they're starting with, say, a 45% rye whiskey, and it's okay. I found if I try it neat, it is definitely too sweet. It kind of tastes almost Manhattan-ish, that there's too much cherry or whatever else is in there.
Oh.
And if it spends a little bit of time in the ice, it starts to melt, and it gradually gets better, actually.
Okay.
From the dilution, I assume.
Maybe let it set a little bit.
So yeah, I've noticed that it has a range of too sweet, and you can still start. I mean, it's not weak, and the booze level is fine. I just think that overall there's too much sweet liqueur in there. But you hit a sweet spot, with it as it sits, and it improves.
Okay.
The danger of this, of course, is that it can easily turn to cough syrup taste.
Oh.
I'm always
gotta get it
leery
just
of
right.
anything with cherry in it, because that's the worst. Like, the Robitussin effect happens, and like, ugh.
Robitussin Effect. I remember that movie in the 70s, The Robitussin Effect. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's classic. Yeah.
That was TGI also.
I think that was wasn't that like one of those paranoid conspiracy thrillers? I think Robert Redford was in it.
Yeah, he was Carl Robitussin.
Carl Robitussin. Hi, I'm Carl Robitussin. Would you like some booze?
And oddly enough, Carl Malden was in the movie, but his name was Carl Redford. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't quite get that movie.
No, I'm waiting for the newly discovered director's cut that David Lynch is supervising.
Oh, right. And then Martin Scorsese is doing an edit.
Oh yeah.
I watched something. I don't know what all he's editing, but I watched something of his. He did there was somebody was going to make a documentary about a Bob Dylan tour with a bunch of people, kind of a gypsy caravan sort of thing, and they were playing really small venues. I've forgotten the name of the tour, but why am I talking about this? But it was something circus or I don't know, whatever.
Wrong. Rolling Thunder review, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Scorsese. Outshone.
But somehow, I guess somebody gave all the footage to Martin Scorsese, and he, however he pronounces his name this year, but he can make anything into a movie, and it was interesting. Oh, maybe the narrator will say what it was called. I don't know, but
well, is
fine.
Are you talking about No Direction Home?
No, this was
that's a Bob Dylan thing.
Yeah, this was.
This is new.
I don't know how old it is, but it's some kind of rebel circus, or I don't know. That we'll figure it out.
Oh, he must be a super fan.
I guess. But then again, in the SCTV world, he was working on a documentary about SCTV, and I don't know what happened with that. Did we talk about that last week?
No, I think it got mentioned, but and then I probably gave you crap for not watching Freaks and Geeks.
Okay.
See, we've already taken it.
We'll just keep in these loops. And yeah, Joe Flattery played the...
Yep. Plays the dad.
He dressed up as a... I'm making fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. He did a cameo where he dressed up as a Count Floyd. Kind of.
Oh, that Count Floyd.
But, anyway, I don't know what happened to this documentary, but it's stuck somewhere.
Well,
I hope
you better get going on that.
I don't know. The SCTV fans are not happy.
No.
Sad.
Hello. You all know me. I'm Ed Uncle Hat. I was driving down the road the other day and I got to thinking, what's more important, dollars and cents or common sense? I think you know what I'm getting at. You can have all the money in the world, but it isn't going to buy you one lick of common sense. Or can it? I got a 12-step program that you can buy into. It's very inexpensive. You don't need a lot of dollars and cents to get common sense. All you need to do is send me about, 13 packs of smokes or first-class stamps. And I'm going to send you this booklet. Yeah, it's more of a pamphlet, but it's got 12 steps to help you become a better you. Just call 1-800-986-7589. And I'm going to send you this booklet, brochure, pamphlet, right to your door. Make sure I know your address, too. This is Ed Uncle Hat. Thanks for listening.
Well, do you want to knock out a few topics that have been festering in our...
I don't know. We could try. Are we going to do... What was the mystery grab bag topics or something?
I don't know.
So John and I have a list that we don't look at very often, as you can probably tell. And sometimes we think, we should look at the topic list.
Okay.
But...
did we talk about the McRib?
Wow. It's already gone again now, isn't it?
It is. It's out of season again, or whatever.
Well, yeah, I remember we both tried it.
We definitely, because we said, hey, it's on our topic list. We should both get one while they're.
And we were going to talk about
around.
it. Yeah, and
I just don't
get
know.
them while they're sort of hot. Get them while they're sort of hot.
Okay, I vote we don't talk about it.
Well, we started.
Oh, okay. What was your impression of the McRib the last time you had one? Last year or whatever that was.
I guess basically,
McRib,
it basically made me think that McDonald's doesn't really need to use real meat anymore, because I think they could make that out of soy and it wouldn't taste any different. and the sauce, it needs something else. I don't know. Maybe you can customize it or something, but it's just kind of there. It's
yeah. Well,
it's made to taste. It even has kind of some fake sort of fatty things, like if you eat a real ribs. I don't know. It's like Soylent Brown or something. I don't know, but
yeah, it is Soylent Brown. I always wonder about cheap fast food meat stuff. As we know, or probably know, the only reason it is sold at the price it is because that kind of meat production is subsidized in our country.
Right.
And I have to, and the equivalent meat substitute, whether it be Impossible, blah, blah, blahs, and all the other things that are out, the only reason those are more expensive is probably due to that subsidy, because it actually costs more to raise cattle and all that stuff than it does to make soy-based meat substitute. I'm pretty sure.
Not even talking about on the environment. I mean,
I'm not even getting to that, which is a huge issue. But
producing cows is very expensive in other ways.
It is, yes. We do pay a huge price. It's the same thing with oil, which it's actually related.
Yeah, right. I know. Oddly enough,
again, but even taking that out, and again, another factor is probably the quantities involved.
Yeah.
And if you had mass production and the economies of scale, and yes, I guess it's kind of remarkable that Burger King can do an Impossible Whopper, and I think it costs the same as a normal one, right?
I don't know. I haven't compared the prices, but
I'm sure it doesn't cost $8 or something like that.
No.
So
close.
If I go to the grocery store and I look in the burgers area, unmade burgers area, and it's like 2 Impossible patties, and it's like $6 or $7 for 2 of them or something like that.
No, maybe Joe Biden will switch the subsidies around.
That's a big lift. And but the equivalent beef, I mean, I think if you got super high-end grass-fed, sustainably blah blah blah, not factory farmed beef.
Oh yeah, I buy a lot better. I buy a lot better stuff now.
Yeah, I try to do that too, but it just the fact that there is a reason it costs what it does, and in McDonald's, if they flip that and that the meat substitute was subsidized that way, that's what most of that would be, because
they don't, because they put everything in molds and things like that anyway with extruders or something. It would just be a different protein basically, and it would still have the flavors. I mean, like their hamburgers, the chicken nuggets, the McRib, none of that needs to be real meat.
Yeah, I think the biggest candidates on the McDonald's menu for meat substitute would be the McNugget, which is practically a fake thing anyway, because it's made out of this nasty ass kind of slurry thing that, I mean, you don't want to, they're pretty bad. And the McRib is a great example too. Although sometimes molded. It is molded. It reminds me sometimes the last time I ate one, it really has a similar flavor profile to their breakfast sausage.
Oh.
It doesn't have the same seasoning, but it reminds me of that, and I think that's how they make it. They probably just take whatever, and they do that. And
okay.
And the other thing, and back to the actual sandwich itself, is that the level of sauce that they give you really varies depending on which one. I've found some of them are almost drowning in it.
The one I only had one this last round, and it was way too much sauce.
See, I find them pretty bad if you don't get a lot of sauce on them. And their sauce is also really sweet.
I think you would need it, right? Yeah.
I just don't find them very good without a lot of sauce.
I'm not saying they should have less sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they should have less sauce.
No. More sauce is good. And, of course, they are as sloppy as hell to eat.
Yeah, it's not a good road trip.
No. So
road trip meal.
That's the McRib. There's a lot of stuff people talk. It's an amazingly popular subject for discussion out on the internets.
Oh, I didn't know.
There's also these the theories of why they come when they do are all over the place. The one that makes the most sense to me is that it's based on the prices of pork and what kind of deals they get, and if they get an especially good deal, then they do the McRib for a while.
Oh, okay.
I think that makes the most sense. It's the most logical, but there was other.
Again, it doesn't need to be real pork. Come on, McDonald's. It could just be anything.
Yeah, they can do it, and they are. I know they've tested a lot of substitute.
I'm sure they are
things.
Yeah.
They do. They have been for a while. Now, but one hasn't really taken hold on their menu yet. But I bet it will.
McDonald's U.
Yes, at McDonald's University in Illinois. You can bet
right now
that
they're working on it.
The food labs there are testing them.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe they'll let us take a tour.
Yeah, if you're listening, I'll go. I haven't been there since I was in high school. So
yeah, they might make you wear the hat again though.
Maybe we can invite Greg to come too.
Sure. Oh yeah, he'll come.
He could. Yeah, he would definitely come.
I think maybe I asked you this before when we recorded with him, but did you get a little cape too, or just you didn't have a cape? Did you?
A cape
with your outfit, your band outfit?
No, what they did was they gave you this vest that you put like an overlay that went over your high school band uniform.
Oh, okay.
That's it, and they made you wear spats.
I think they should have had like a cape that went halfway down your back or something. That'd be fancy. With a big
it's embarrassing.
M on it. Speaking of food, what have you been? Have you tried any new things?
Have I tried any new things?
Yeah, I don't know. You're always or like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the most successful recipe I made recently was this really remarkable. Back to barbecue stuff again, but. This remarkable barbecue chicken kebab thing.
Oh, you sent me the recipe.
Yeah, I did.
Try that.
It's remarkable, and I've made it twice now. Sorry for the non-meat eaters.
Well, we talked about the other stuff earlier.
It's Cook's Illustrated, America's Test Kitchen. I mean that I've talked about them before, but their things always seem to work.
Well,
this one showed up on the TV show, the one that they run on PBS, and it's on YouTube as well. And it just seemed like a lot of really good ideas. And so what it is basically are boneless, skinless chicken thighs.
Yeah,
that you
that's the way to go.
You do a dry rub, a dry brine with salt, and you let it sit for an hour or so in the fridge. Gives you a good little salt brine.
Okay.
Dry brine, of course. And then you coat it with spices, including smoked paprika.
Yeah, that's one of my go-to spices now.
It's really good on these, and so it makes them look all nice and a deep, dark red color. But the secret weapon on this thing is you coat the pieces of chicken with bacon paste.
Now,
and what you do to make that is you take like a couple of strips of raw bacon and you put them in a food processor until it basically makes this kind of paste. Yeah, it just turns into a paste if you process it. And then you coat that with the spices on the chicken and put them on skewers.
So this is uncooked bacon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. All right.
Yeah,
I was like, how does that work?
Nope, turns into a crumble if you... Also kind of tasty, but
well, you could put some crumbles on afterwards.
and a lot of skewer recipes, I think, will put pieces of bacon next to the meat, the chicken or whatever,
or wrap something.
Yeah, bacon wrap things are huge, and that's its own. It can be good, but the commentary on the recipe said that when they tried this, that you kind of got this just fatty pieces of bacon in there.
Yeah,
and the chicken still didn't quite benefit from it. And this way, it coats it, and kind of gets this a little bit of extra smokiness on the outside of the bacon, but it doesn't become a bacon thing. It's just an added. But the char and the flavor is great. The chicken stays really moist
What do you do with the? It's just you don't do anything to chicken thighs. You don't like ground them up or anything.
No, you just cut them in little chunks.
Yeah.
You salt them, leave them sit for an hour in the salt, and then you coat them with bacon paste and spices. Put them on skewers and put them on the grill.
Okay.
And then you put barbecue sauce on partway through.
Cool.
And the recipe has a really good homemade barbecue sauce recipe, which also is, you don't have to use it. It's definitely I've made it with store-bought barbecue sauce and it works fine. But
yeah,
the recipe for their barbecue sauce, which is basically molasses, Worcestershire, little mustard and ketchup, and you take some raw onion and you shave it into the sauce. And it's very good. It's also not very sweet. Kind of the opposite of a McRib barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Wow.
And
that's way too sweet.
It's really, the sauce is great too. And if you have time, it's worth doing. You just simmer that for 15 minutes and then you just brush it on, and it sounds really like blah blah barbecue chicken skewers, whatever. But it's so much better than any similar thing I've ever had. And it's not hard to do. That's the best part. So if you're curious, just search that on YouTube under America's Test Kitchen. They recently did a video on how to make them, and they're great. So that's probably the best good thing we've had. We've had a couple of post-vaccination restaurant meals, which has been great.
Yeah.
We went out for breakfast this morning at a local dive.
I haven't been out to breakfast for years, or it feels like
really good. I don't miss the amount of money we spend, but otherwise I have missed it.
Yeah, we all saved money the past year and a half.
I think so. At least I feel like I should have, but I don't seem to have any more.
Well, it just goes in other places.
I know, you just went, well, I could buy this now. Ooh.
Well, yeah.
So
I started buying
what about you, Phil? Have you had
better stuff?
New culinary experiences?
We Jody and I have been trying to eat better, and we've been doing pretty good. And so, more working in more vegetables and that kind of stuff. And let's see, I'm trying to think. We tried to make our own ramen, and the broth wasn't very good. We got to experiment with it.
Have you ever been? Sorry to interrupt you, but
it was healthy. It was healthy, but it just.
Have you been to any actual ramen restaurants?
Well,
around here,
we recently went back to Tongue in Cheek in St. Paul there on.
And they make tongue ramen.
They're
in Cheek.
It's the pork. They have a lot of pork belly stuff, which isn't in a Cheek, I guess, but. They're the ones that do the cocktail flight, and they have some really fun cocktails. But yeah, they do ramen and maybe a pho. I don't know. But anyway, but of course they do other things too. But it's kind of an Asian. I wouldn't call it an Asian restaurant, but definitely has most of their meals are Asian influenced, at least. I had a weird beverage with I think it's called the Dragon something or other, and it's got sake and
Chasing the Dragon.
I think I'm trying to think. Basically,
Mother of Dragons, jalapeno infused Windsor, Matilde Peche, and passion fruit. Not responsible for pronunciations. Also, evidently, it didn't have any sake in it.
But they try to get that unami sort of thing going on, and even in some of their drinks.
They put heroin in it, right?
That reminds me of a different movie.
Or a Steely Dan song. Sorry.
Let's see. I think it had a little bit of ghost pepper, something in there. I don't know. It had a little bit of a kick. That was fun. But that was my last. That they have good ramen there. To get the broth right, we should have worked on the broth quite a bit more, I think, before putting the noodles in. That was probably it was kind of watery.
I think if you find a good broth recipe, you'll be good.
Yeah, well, we can experiment.
Yeah.
I think the recipe we had was heavy on the healthy, which didn't have as much flavor, but we'll work it out.
That's hard to do, definitely.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good with that. I've lost a few pounds. I gained. I think everyone probably has had their COVID weight gain and that kind of thing. But
yeah, me too. I actually have a theory that, well, of course, during the warm months I tend to be outside doing yard work and things, and that burns calories. But
sure,
I'm
always healthier in the summer.
I think part of the reason I've gained more weight in the last year was because I was home more, so you eat more. Yeah. And also, I think playing music actually burns a fair amount of calories.
Yeah?
I don't know that for sure. We'll see when things ramp up again here pretty soon, whether that has much effect. But
well, another thing I've noticed for myself is that if I'm doing a lot of physical labor, I don't eat as much for some reason.
I think there's a connection there. Yep. Exercise can suppress appetite a little bit, I think. In a healthy way, not like don't eat at all, but
sure,
yeah,
that's
a thing.
Another food thing that my wife has been working with reducing gluten. She doesn't have that celiac disease or whatever, but but it does affect her. But we have frozen pizzas sometimes, and she experimented with several different kinds, like the cauliflower crust and whatever else. But we found this one called, I think it's Bonza, and it has a chickpea crust. And if anyone's gluten-free but wants a frozen pizza, that's the one I would recommend. It only comes, as far as I know, it only comes with cheese. They only make like cheese pizza, but you can put other stuff on it. But I would definitely recommend that if anyone's trying the GF thing.
Yeah, that's a good reminder that one of the things that I know I've talked about this when we talked about pizza, but a year or so ago, probably two actually, I tend to drop a year when I think about last year was actually 2 years ago.
Time is really weird right now,
and I was having difficulty making frozen pizza well in my oven, and so I invested in a baking stone or pizza stone, and I like the results from them, but the particular ones I ordered, both I tried two different ones, and they both gave off this noxious chemical smell when you heated them up. That's good
for pizza.
And no, it's not good at all. And it was awful. It made the house smell horrible
for like days.
Well, it wasn't. No. I didn't need a hazmat suit to enter my kitchen. It wasn't that bad, but
yeah.
But that was a no-go. So I gave up.
They have it coated with something, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Something in the manufacturing did that, and I went back on Amazon and looked at the reviews, and sure enough, every third or fourth one was, "It gives off a horrible smell!" exclamation point.
No.
Even though a lot of people had good luck with them, and it was a highly rated one by a bunch of review sites. So I, whatever, and of course I sent it back twice, and I'm sure they got thrown in the garbage. But talk about wasteful.
Yeah.
And they're heavy. If you've ever.
To ship those, yeah.
Yeah, they ship it to you. That costs a lot, and then you send it back, and and it gets thrown away because it's been used. I mean, nobody's going to buy a used pizza stone.
I don't know.
So I gave up
Weird.
And stopped for a while, and then I just thought, well, the other version people use is called a baking steel. So it's a big slab of steel that you put in there that does a similar effect. It traps the heat and gets you a better crust. And they're more intended for fresh homemade doughs, not really frozen pizzas, but they do help.
Yeah.
And so I finally invested in one of those. They cost more, of course. It's this really big, heavy piece of metal that you put on the rack of your oven.
Heavy metal.
It is heavy.
Heavy metal pizza.
And the good thing, of course, it's metal, so it's not going to smell. Yeah,
Yeah.
so far it's really good. I one of these days I'm going to try a fresh homemade dough on it because that's what it's meant to do. And
Yeah.
it's like what you do. And of course you heat your oven with this thing in it for like an hour at 400, 500 degrees.
Wow.
And this piece of metal soaks up the heat. And when you put your pizza on it, it releases it all really quickly.
Wow.
And gets you this great dew on the crust.
Wow.
And it also you can cook bread on them and stuff like that. And
Yeah. Well, sure.
so
Okay.
So that I think that helps with the frozen pizza though.
My
so
youngest
that you don't
daughter
get that
is
soggy bottom.
my youngest daughter is the baker in training. But I said, okay, we got to learn how to make pizza crust, to our own pizza crust. So that's what we're going to try.
Aha.
Say what you had me watch Ugly Delicious. A
Yeah,
while back.
we're still watching that series
I
on
watched-
Netflix. Yeah.
I watched some of them, but like you pointed out, they're evidently not in order for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I don't know why, but
That's odd.
it played me the most recent episode when I went to
Yeah.
start it. Usually the apps don't do that, but this one did.
No.
So
It was kind of disjointing, but whatever.
that's a good series. They kind of combine a lot of elements of food shows.
Sure. Well, they have their little bits too. I was thinking, I thought of you with, like on the podcast, we have some bits sometimes, but, like little people show up or there's some kind of animation or something, or I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun. It isn't, the other, I watched, just keeping with that still is, I am enjoying it because I think one of the things that he's talking about it primarily is the connection.
This is David Chang, who's the
Thank you.
main chef.
Yeah, him.
He's sort of the host.
He lets other people have their moments and stuff, but he definitely keeps trying to come back to, hey, Asian food started it all or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
and David Chang, he's Korean American, and
Yeah.
so he has some definite ideas.
he has good points, and they talk about the history of this kind of thing. And it's a pretty good show. And then on that line, there's another one that just came out. I think it's more recently called High on the Hog. Have you heard of that one yet?
No, I don't know that one.
Well, there's a book. I think it's I'm guessing it's a book about black culinary traditions by Jessica Harris. And this other chef named Stephen Satterfield, I believe, was kind of inspired by that. So anyway, the show, I've only seen one episode. And I thought, I didn't know anything about it, of course. I thought it's going to be kind of like Ugly Delicious or some kind of Anthony Bourdain thing. Somebody goes around and tries different foods and talks about the culture a little bit. But this is way more in depth about the connection of, because the first episode he goes to Africa, and so they're talking about the similarities of how what food got brought over, and how they just had to use the ingredients that were here, the ingredients that were here, geez, and to make their own versions of what they used to eat. But it's really powerful. I wasn't expecting. I don't know. It's very in depth, and it has a lot of history. I definitely would recommend that. It isn't just about, hey, this food came from Africa and this is different ingredients or something, and it talks a lot about the history of. I'm looking forward to seeing more episodes of that as well. So I would recommend that.
Cool. Hey, speaking of the Ugly Delicious show, have you watched the one about Indian food yet?
Yeah,
that one was great. I really, that got
was
me
pretty
really
wild.
Interested.
I think one of the most memorable scenes from that episode was there were a few, but it was was it like a spice yard or something where they had all the pepper and
yeah, that was just insane how where they make all the spices and
they're just got this huge like rake thing to rotate it in the sun, and
yeah,
that was really cool. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to taste that." It was like totally different than the pepper we have here, you know.
Oh, that was great.
The other thing too, I learned from that is the curry spice thing. You know, in America we have little bottles or jars of curry spice.
Powder, yeah,
curry powder,
or what
yes.
we just call curry.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's like it's not even really the same thing.
No, that's definitely a westernized, appropriation thing where we just call it all this generic name.
It's like cumin and something else mixed together.
Yeah, it's a combination of a bunch of different spices, and it doesn't. It's almost meaningless, really, because
it tastes
call
good.
Curry, like whatever you call curry, like there's also Thai curries and all these other things, which are just like it's like English colonialism speak for exotic, somewhat Asian, spicy thing.
Yeah, right. It's a generic term.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know that either, so I learned quite a bit on that episode. So.
Yeah, and of course that features Padma Lakshmi, who's the kind of the lead host of Top Chef, which I've been watching for a long time.
Oh, sure.
She knows her shit, definitely.
And of course I don't know if it's just a chef thing, but they do drop the F-bomb every now and then. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's definitely true to life, I guess, that way.
Yeah. That's a good. I don't know if I've been watching anything else. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I hadn't been watching many movies lately. The True Grit was the most recent. Oh, I watched this other World War II movie, which was really interesting too, called Decision Before Dawn, which doesn't sound that exciting. And I'm not sure there literally was a decision that somebody had to make before dawn.
Don Pardo.
But it does feature the first American movie, at least, performance of Oscar Werner, who's somebody I always really like. He's a German actor who's probably most well known for The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, which is a favorite of mine.
Sure.
And Francois Truffaut's Jules and Jim.
Oh, wow.
Artsy movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of a three-way relationship. The French.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also was in the original version of Fahrenheit 451.
Wow.
So
no, I've seen these, but I don't remember him.
Yeah. He's
if somebody put a picture up on my screen, I'd be, oh yeah, okay.
Really good German American. He's a German actor who just happens to speak really good English. And
sure.
This is kind of a end of World War II espionage movie, and they recruit these German POWs to go back into Germany to get information on where the army. What the army's doing so that they can plan attacks and things like that. And
sure,
he's one of the ones they recruit to do that. It's actually very good, and it's filmed in Germany with a lot of German actors in 1950 or so.
Wow.
And it's actually, except for the fact that they all speak English the whole time.
Right.
That's like, okay, well, 1950.
Other than that, it's pretty authentic.
But they filmed a lot of it in German towns, which are still looking very bombed out from the war.
Yeah.
And using German actors, and it's actually a really interesting movie. And that's one of the ones that's on my dad's movie list.
Yeah.
That I got from him, and it's actually very well done. And it's something I'd never heard of before. I think most people have forgotten about it, but if you ever run across it, it's very good.
Oh, I'm getting hungry. We were talking about food earlier.
Yeah. What do you're gonna grill tonight, right? This is a weekend.
I got some. Well, to kind of celebrate getting done with this damn class, I got some steaks to grill. I haven't had steak for a long time.
Oh, we're doing steak tonight too.
And I didn't know what kind of, I never know really what kind of cut to get. And it was Memorial Day. So, they either had really huge things or they were out of some things. Or, I mean, Memorial Day weekend. And it's not Memorial Day today. We don't record on that day. It's a holiday. But no. Anyway, I got sirloin steak. I don't know. I'll try it.
Yeah, I don't know what we have. Whatever was on sale last week.
Yeah.
No, I'm probably going to do a marinade for these, even though if you buy really good quality steak, you don't mess with them like that. But these are cheap ones.
I don't know. I think I used to just put salt and pepper on, but maybe I'll put a little olive oil on too to see if that crisps it out on the
Well, yeah, and you're doing charcoal, so you don't have too much trouble getting a good sear. That's the key.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's...
Well... If I found that if I close up, I can't close my lid all the way even with the vents open because it seems like the coals cool down too fast. So I've been kind of messing with that. I leave it kind of cracked open more for some reason. I don't know. I have your old charcoal grill.
When did it give you that Weber kettle? Like in the 90s?
Yeah.
Something like that?
A couple
and somebody gave that to me.
A couple of the things on the bottom where you scrape the charcoal paste are kind of gone, but I still use it.
That's what a testimonial to those Weber kettles' longevity. It's really
I have replaced the grate once, but
the only other thing I'll mention is that, and this is a little premature, but we'll see. By the time it might be definite by the time this gets released, but we have gotten in the kind of our spot in a queue for a golden retriever puppy.
Yeah,
and through a family that's having a litter out in Rapid City, actually.
Yeah,
they only feed them Taco John's when they're. We insist on that. They're the only breeder that feeds their dogs Taco John's.
Taco burgers.
Taco burger raised puppies. Oh, that's horrible. Happens to be some people that a friend of the show, Paul S.
knows.
Yeah. He was kind enough to put me in touch with them, and the mom is expecting at the end of June or so here.
Yeah.
And with any luck, we'll have one to bring home, by September. So
that's just crazy.
You
haven't had a dog. You haven't had a dog for a long
time. And my
Lando.
family had a golden retriever when I was growing up. I got this puppy at 10 years old. I was 10, not the puppy. And I just like that particular breed. They're really good natured and sweet, and
sure.
That a lot of people end up liking dogs that they had growing up. That's a thing.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think that drives a lot of people's decisions. Some people, of course, really get into golden retrievers and labs and things like that because they like to hunt, and they're good dogs for that too. But they're just...
It's hard to imagine Sandy hunting your former dog, but...
Yeah, Sandy, the most blandly named golden retriever ever. Goldie? I don't know.
She was sweet too, but...
She was a nice dog and put up with so much shit from us when we were...
Yeah. I knew her when she was kind of on the older side, I think, but...
And she, sweetie that she was dumb as a post. Just very dumb dog, but was perfect for our family. Really was, and we loved her to death.
Yeah.
But the funny thing, of course, she came from a pedigreed golden retriever parents that were hunting, blah blah blah, had the papers and all that, and
funny.
So who knows what you're gonna get?
Yeah, right.
And we're pretty excited about this, though, and good. It's one of those things you think about that, like, okay, when is a good time to get a puppy, and all the stuff. There's a lot of work involved and things like that.
Oh, sure.
And you think, well, when should we do this? Blah blah blah. And this is about as good of a time as any for
Sure.
us. And
people working at home more. And...
Yep, there's more. And one of us, my wife is still home all the time, and I can take some time off, and we have a yard and all this. We're pretty well set up.
Yeah. And you've been working on, I mean, you've been thinking about this a little bit and working on getting the fences set up better.
Definitely, yeah. So we're working to get everything ready for this, and I think this is the time, and so we're very excited about it. And
good. I look forward to hearing what name you pick, but you have to kind of wait to see the dog, I think.
I think we are, though we have a couple of...
Scruffy.
Or Scrappy,
Scrappy. Name it after a Walter Brennan character.
That's right. Groot.
Oh, yeah.
We'll call the dog Groot. Well, stay tuned on that. I'm sure by the time I'll have an update the next time we record. But
hopefully we'll have this episode out before September.
Oh my God, I hope so. No. Yeah, and otherwise things around here are, getting better, and gigs are starting to pop back on the calendar this summer, and
and not just outdoor ones.
Yeah, this summer so far, the two I have on the calendar are both outdoors, but
I actually bought
whatever works.
I don't know if I told you this, but I actually bought concert tickets in September.
Whoa!
Rufus Wainwright and Jose Gonzalez are playing at the Northrop.
And Jose Cuervo. Yeah.
I probably have one of those before I go. I don't know if you've heard.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've never gone to I've seen several Loudon Wainwright concerts, but I've never gone to a Rufus one.
Oh, I'll bet that'll be good.
But that Jose Gonzalez is really good too. I don't know if you've heard him, but
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of. I mean, I was like, I don't know. The tickets are kind of expensive, and this and that, and it's not till September.
That is a nice place to see a concert, though, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I said,
Plus, you have free parking.
Yeah, that's true.
At the U of M.
Well, I pay for it already.
Well,
I could use my parking contract.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know if Jody will go with me yet, or I got to find a date, I guess. But
Aww.
They had all these different tiers and stuff. I mean, I haven't purchased like a concert ticket thing like this in a long time.
I don't think I've been to anything in the renovated Northrop Auditorium.
Yeah.
The last thing I saw there was Steely Dan before they remodeled it.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, but then other things are popping up, and I'm like, oh wow, but some of them are really far out. It's hard. It's like, but I've missed concerts because I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in August or whatever.
You do have to plan pretty far in advance. Like the best example of that is like, before the pandemic, like way before actually.
Sure.
My mom and a couple other family members caught wind of this revival Broadway production of The Music Man.
Oh.
Which was being put together, and it was going to star Hugh Jackman as Harold Hill.
Sure. Wow.
And that's pretty cool. He's a talented guy. He could do it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a new, again, I'm sure they'll revise it and all that stuff. But yeah, they were going to do that on Broadway. And my mom was just like, I really want to do this. This is so fun. We're going to go to New York. And and she got tickets for it. And
now you got to figure out the rest.
and then, because she had to buy them like a year out or something.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the pandemic completely threw, and then they kept changing the dates, rescheduling it.
Yeah.
And I guess it's tentative. Her tickets are now for 2022. But
wow.
She's still going to do it. But that's kind of how things are right now.
Yeah.
Everything's just being put back together.
I mean, but you do have to just pull the trigger sometimes, or whatever the phrase is.
If it's important, live thing, you should probably do it. It's like I really, one of these days, I really hope I'm able to see Paul McCartney again. If he comes back, I'm going to make it a point to do it, because I've never gotten to see one of his live shows.
No.
And I've heard they're great.
the one thing that I will probably always kick myself about a little bit was missing Devo the last time they were at the zoo or whatever. I was like, why didn't I was like, I didn't have the money at the time, but I could have just put it on a credit card or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Debt or Devo?
They'd probably appreciate that.
They do appreciate that. So there.
I de-evolved. I guess the other thing, just before we go, my oldest daughter, April, she'll just send me these weird music links sometimes. And last night she sent me this, you know, the Pyramid song by Radiohead. It's one of the one of the best songs ever. I don't know. We'll just say that. I mean, it's really cool. But somebody made a version supposedly that's 800 times slower.
That's
on
kind
YouTube.
of a dirge as it is, anyways. So,
and I listened to quite a bit of it actually, and it is.
Is it like 2 hours long?
Well, it's 39 minutes.
Oh,
okay. I didn't quite finish it, but I'll tell you, there are some kind of religious sort of. I mean, it's heavy, but yeah, I don't know if anyone has some time to listen to a time to listen to 800 times slower version of Pyramid song. At least listen to the beginning of it. It's like, wow.
Oh, what an idea.
Well, I don't know. It makes it kind of ambient, sort of.
I was just thinking, I wonder if that's an ambient music kind of thing.
Well, she likes ambient music, so that's probably where she found it. But the thing, it was relaxing, but I was also feeling pretty anxious because I think even with that song the way it is, you're waiting for resolutions and that. But when it's slowed down so much, you're like, when is this going to resolve? You know, it's like I don't know. I just felt kind of, my heart rate was elevated. It was really weird. It was a weird experience, and I wasn't even on anything at the time. I was laying there with my eyes closed, listening to it. And I was like, I think this probably would kill you if you were on acid or mushrooms or something. I think you would just
maybe it's better on weed or something.
Maybe weed or anything. I think you would just go inside your head and never come back out. Kind of a Sid Barrett thing or something. Well, fine. Well, I guess we kind of got a topic.
Yeah, it's okay.
We knocked McRib off.
As long as McRib is off the list, mission accomplished. I'm okay with it.
And that got a lot of tangents there afterwards. But time to tangent.
That's right. Well, thanks for hanging with us while we take our sweet bloody time. Coming up, getting these things done.
I know we've had a couple people. What's going on? But we did get a badge from Podbean for our 1000th download. Yeah. 1000th.
And we responded by releasing fewer episodes.
We'll just send out a bunch. Maybe we could get our downloads up if we just do like this one could just be like eight like 10-minute episodes.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah. This is episode 63, part 5.
No, we're not going to do that. All right.
Well, I hope you have a great rest of your holiday weekend, and
yeah, and you as well.
Try and do nothing.
Oh, I don't know. I'm actually going to go hiking tomorrow. I'm taking my youngest daughter and her friend. We're going to go.
It might rain.
I know. We'll dress appropriately, but we're gonna. My daughter's my youngest daughter Adeline's really into mushrooms. All the different kinds of. She doesn't eat them or
not mushrooms.
Not hallucinogens. But because they just look cool, you know. So when we are on hikes, she'll like, "What's that?"
Isn't it called mushroom hunting?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not gonna maybe eat anything, but because I don't know enough about it. Mushrooming, they call it. But yeah. So I might get a book too if anything's open. It's a kind of impromptu, but so we're gonna do that, And then probably, I don't know, Monday, maybe do a picnic. I don't know. It's kind of a 3-day weekend.
Picnic basket.
Oh, what kind of basket?
Boy.
Yogi. I can't remember. What was
that sounds like Boo Boo after he had a couple packs of cigarettes.
I did. Yogi. Well, I'm trying to remember the voice. What was the smaller?
Yeah, I don't know.
Boo Boo?
It's Boo Boo is the name of it.
Hey, Boo Boo.
Well, yeah, Yogi. So.
Hey,
I think-
we got a
I think-
picnic basket. I'm smarter than
Yogi.
the average Yogi.
It was kind of that sort of a voice, kind of a.
Yeah, it's a nasally kind of voice.
I can't do it quite right.
Yeah.
All right. Fine.
Oh, I just got some feedback for doing the bad Yogi Bear imitation.
I don't know. That was better than.
So my lovely wife really
Can she do better?
She's gonna make her own podcast, but she won't come on this one.
Oh, she's going to do a podcast?
Well, I think she's gonna make one with her daughter.
Oh, are they going to talk about? Is it going to be called Mary Jane?
It'll probably be something like that. I don't know. I'll produce it. It's okay.
All right.
No, I said go for it.
Yeah. That might be fun. She's your wife's funny.
We were gonna do a thing where we would like the two of us were gonna have a podcast where we like say, she talks about food like a meal we had, and I would talk about a movie, and we call it Dinner on the Davenport.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know.
We'll have all kinds of podcasts going on.
Well, we'll do lots.
Well, Connie was talking about Sean C. doing a podcast with their granddaughter. I watched a video of they just make up these little stories. It's really funny. She's very inventive. I mean, and of course Sean, he's funny. But
Wrong. Just kidding. Speaking of Sean C., here's a live recording of the time where the fellas met up with Sean and did a tasting or something.
hi,
Special Time to Lean episode.
field
Field recording.
April 3rd, 2027.
That's when this episode will come out. Today we're trying Twin Being Stout beer.
Yeah,
We have Phil and Sean are here with me.
Twin Big in a glass.
Twins
Right?
being
Fernston Brewing Company.
So we're trying.
made in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Oh, I won't hold that against it.
We'll try not to.
Is it made in Sioux Falls?
It is. I just looked.
Okay, maybe this will be better
The
than the
twin
salted nut
twin
rollers.
beings are made in
Sioux City, Iowa.
Sioux City, Iowa. So this
And
is the-
we're all fans of the candy bar.
we are
Oh yes.
And
and have been
candy bar.
since childhood.
they're good. South Dakota, Iowa, I guess, staple. But
Yes, because the twin beings.
and alongside it we have
An actual twin.
an actual Twin Being, the real one. And I think we're first going to try the beer. You guys ready?
I guess so.
Yes.
Ready for this?
What are you supposed to say? Stole? No, stool?
Skål.
Skål.
Skål!
It's the Norwegian.
Skål.
Skål.
I know Scotch people might drink this.
Okay. It's much better than the salted nut roll beer.
It's better than the
It
Pearson
is.
salted nut roll beer, right?
You know, it's
I can
actually not too bad.
Well, the
Oh.
thing, the thing,
it's
it was good that they made it in a stout.
it definitely they were
Like a
wise
chocolate
making it a stout.
but there's a little cherry in there.
Oh, the Twin Being-ish stuff is kind of subtle.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's not that sweet, which is good.
You know,
It's a little sweet for a stout,
Definitely.
but not excessively.
But it's smart to do a stout because that has that
Yes.
chocolatey
Yes.
flavor.
Yeah.
You can get away with a chocolate stout.
I don't.
It
yeah,
feels really
it's-
sweet to me. You don't
Well,
think it's that sweet?
No,
I don't
no,
think it's too sweet.
A lot of stouts you have kind of that edgy bitterness, and this does
Which I
not.
like.
That has none of the bitterness.
I think the flavoring kind of the candy bar part kind of rounds it off.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
kind of flattens out the stoutness,
I'm gonna
the bitterness of the stout. You're right.
I'm gonna eat a little bit of a twin big.
Okay,
with
have
it.
one of those, Sean.
All right.
Okay.
Now for comparison, we
Will
have
it
the
pair
actual
well?
Twin Bing
Yeah,
made
pair
in
well.
Sioux
Yeah.
City, Iowa.
I love twin bigs.
There's a fresh one too.
They are.
That's nice.
That is nice. It's been years.
Yeah.
I mean, a very long time.
It pairs well with
It does.
Richmond being.
Well, so do you.
It
That
does.
one never gets old.
They actually go
Unlike
very
us.
well together, which is a good
It
sign.
makes the beer taste better.
It does.
I don't hate this.
I don't either.
I'm surprised,
This is.
actually.
I am too.
You know, it
This
would
is
have been
better.
more fun if it had sucked.
It would have, but it's actually not that bad.
No, it's actually decent
I don't
beer.
know. I had no expectations after the salted nut roll one.
I was expecting it to be worse than this, but it's really not.
No, I
that
think
bad.
they made a good attempt.
It's probably the sweetest stout I've ever had, but
Yeah.
like you say, stouts are usually pretty. So
Well, and I don't know if this one is a high alcohol content.
I'm guessing not.
Because some stouts I've had.
Huh.
Like Guinness is kind of high-ish for a beer.
Yeah.
I like
But-
it. It's all right.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
I don't think I'd buy any more though.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but I won't have trouble drinking the other beer. They come in 2 packs. I think I'll have no trouble drinking the other one at some point.
Yeah,
No, it's definitely much better than the other.
pastry
Candy
stout with chocolate
Can you read what the
Lactose.
ABV is on it, Sean?
ABV.
No, sorry, the alcohol by volume.
Oh yeah, right.
Percent, yeah.
It is 8.8%.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable, isn't it?
That's not
For a beer?
For a beer, that's
I don't know.
it's a little high.
They can
but
go a
not
little higher than that.
very much.
No, that's not a lightweight.
For a stout, aren't stouts usually?
Stouts,
Lower?
stouts. Well, it
6?
depends on the stout. I mean, like Guinness, I think is a bit higher than that.
Oh.
Actually,
Is that American Guinness or Irish Guinness?
good point.
Uh-oh.
I actually don't know.
And
okay.
Did you know that if you drink it at room temperature, the alcohol volume is higher?
I did not know
It's
that.
not true at all.
Oh, okay. Is that one of those
I just made that up.
urban legends?
Not urban at all.
It's suburban.
Suburban. Twin
Well-
Bing in a glass
Well, okay.
Okay.
That
Well,
that was not
Fern?
offensive.
from Palmer
Sorry, folks.
Candy Company.
Well,
It's actually not bad.
Tin
Ferguson
Whiskers came out with a bomb pop
Brewing.
beer. We're gonna try that next.
Bomb
the bomb
pop?
pop.
I think that we
That,
should.
I think that would be terrible.
Yeah, it does
I
sound
thought this
horrible.
was gonna be terrible too.
I did not expect it to be this drinkable. Actually,
I had a funny
It is
feeling that
quite
since it was a
drinkable.
stout,
I wouldn't say it's one
That-
of the best stouts, but it's very drinkable.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there it is.
we'll give it
I think it's good.
a 3 out of
Yeah.
18 leans.
Okay.
18? Why 18?
I would scale of 18.
What's so special about 18?
I don't know.
You just like the number 18?
I was trying to think of a wider range than because
Yeah,
everybody says 4
because
or
it's
5.
the
It's usually
the,
5 or 10.
It's the age you could drink
Or
3-2
4.
beer when we were in high school.
John will translate.
Good night, folks.
Like,
It was late at night. I had an awful fright. 100 little footsteps running down the hall. They came in sight where my eyes not working right. It was the little people answering their call. It was late at night when the little people showed up. Each one could fit in a little teacup. They crashed into the room like a car pile up. They danced and sang into the night. Drank all my whiskey and were feeling alright. The leader was Mr. Wim. Filled a tiny glass to the brim. He said, I hope you don't mind if we stay a spell. He Mr. Boo died and we aren't doing well. We need to throw a party in the honor of Mr. Boo, the sorry goner. He was eaten by old Tim Cat. He took one bite and that was that. He was down at the laundromat looking for Linton's latest flat. Mr. Wim took out a tiny pipe and he lit a match on his beard with a flourish swipe. It was the night little people showed up. Each one could fit in a little teacup. They crashed into the room like a car pileup. The dancers sang into the night, smoked a little weed and were feeling alright. It was somewhere 3:30 when Mr. Wim took a peek. He said, "Come on, boys, gather up your toys. Thanks, big guy, sorry for the noise. Mr. Vim has a biggin that he employs. They'll be around to clean the mess. I hope it didn't cause too much stress." With that they left just as they came, and Mr. Wim, he did exclaim, "You biggins are okay, no matter what us little ones say. And if you're ever near the little lamb parts, tell them Mr. Wim said to open up their hearts." It was the night the little people showed up. Each one could fit in a little teacup. They crashed into the room like a car pileup. And the dancers sang into the night. Drank all my whiskey and were feeling alright.